Good evening, everyone. This is March 12th, 2025. Welcome to City Council regular meeting for the City of Mableton. Thank you all for coming in attendance today. I think we have a couple of council members that are not present, but by visual cue we have a quorum. So with that being said, Madam Clerk, I'm going to call the meeting to order at 6:40. Would you please call the roll?
Yes, Mayor Owens.
Present.
Councilmember District 1, Ron Davis, not here currently. Councilmember District 2, Danielle Ladapo.
Present.
Councilmember District 3 and Mayor Pro Tem Keisha Jeffcoat.
Present.
Councilmember District 4, Patricia Alk.
Present.
Councilmember District 5, TJ Ferguson, currently not here. Councilmember District 6, Deborah Herndon.
Present.
And we have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. At this point in time, Mr. Manager, would you mind leading us in a brief invocation, please?
Invocation, absolutely.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd be glad to. For all those who are willing, please participate. Heavenly Father, thank you for this opportunity to serve the great city of Mableton and its citizens, residents, and visitors. We ask that you would give our council wisdom, judgment, discretion as they make decisions to lead this great city and bless our citizens with safety and protection. We'll give you all the praise and glory for all you have done to cover our city of Mableton. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
Thank you, sir. For those who are able, ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. Council, you've been provided a copy of the agenda. At this point in time, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda as written.
I'll second.
Thank you. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor of approving the agenda as written, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. There's no opposition. The ayes have it. This takes us to item 7. Item 7 is a presentation, acknowledgement, and proclamations. We do have one proclamation tonight that we want to give. This proclamation is recognizing Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Week. This proclamation and this week, this disease itself is something that obviously hits home to us as a governing body and as a city. It's no secret, I don't think it's been talked about publicly, that our Councilwoman Auk has brought this proclamation to me to ensure that we raise awareness about this week. And we also have a special guest here with us tonight who has done a tremendous amount of work, not only in our community, but across the country in raising awareness, but also advocating for research as it comes to this disease. So with that being said, I would like to read this proclamation. It says, whereas multiple sclerosis as a chronic and often disabling disease of the central nervous system affecting over 100 million people in the United States, including many residents here in Mableton. And whereas MS Awareness Week is observed from March 9th to March 15th, 2025, and is an opportunity to educate the public about MS and advocate for research and support those living with the disease. And whereas Dr. Mitzi Jo Williams Brown, a distinguished Mableton resident and board-certified neurologist, has dedicated her life and career to advancing MS research and improving care for individuals affected by this disease, particularly through her work at Joy Life Wellness and the Joy Life Foundation, which is a Mableton-based 501c3 nonprofit organization that advocates for the greater minority representation in clinical trials and equitable health access. And whereas the City of Mableton acknowledges the significance of raising awareness about MS and recognizes the efforts of healthcare professionals, researchers, advocates, and caregivers, who are committed to finding a cure and improving the quality of life for those affected. Therefore, whereas increasing awareness and understanding of MS within our community fosters compassion, promotes access to resources, and strengthens efforts to support those living with this disease. I, Michael Owens, Mayor of Mableton, do hereby proclaim the week of March 9th through the 15th of Mableton, or 2025, as Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Week in the city of Mableton, and encourage all residents to learn more about multiple sclerosis, support those individuals with those diseases, and advocate for continued research and treatment advances. Thank you all. At this time, Ms. Williams-Brown, will you please come up and be acknowledged? At this time, I'd also like to ask Councilwoman Patricia Hall to come as well.
That's cute.
You know, one thing that was not, and I'll just take a moment of personal privilege here, one thing that was not mentioned before or in that proclamation was that multiple sclerosis is a very debilitating disease, but it's also seen as a disease that impacts only a certain segment of the population, and that's not exactly factual. And the work that she is doing is actually expanding that and expanding the research to see how this disease actually impacts those of underrepresented communities. So that's another aspect to the work and research that she does that I think should be highlighted and celebrated. So thank you again. Okay, we're going to move on now to item 10, which is the consent agenda. There are several items on the consent agenda. I will read them before entertaining a motion
Mayor.
for approval.
Public comment?
I circled that for no reason. Zooming right past that. Sorry about that. I also want to acknowledge that we do have Councilman Ron Davis from District 1 who is here now, Madam Clerk. Thank you. Thank you for gracing us with your presence this evening. we appreciate it.
Well, you're the TV celebrity.
We'll leave that alone. Okay, Madam Clerk, I assume that you do have comment cards this evening.
Yes, Mayor, I have 4.
Thank you, ma'am. Please proceed.
Okay, our first speaker will be Nick DeMonde. And just remember, there's a 2-minute time limit, and the mayor and council do not converse or answer questions back and forth.
Good evening, folks.
Good evening.
I know I only have 2 minutes. I'm sorry? Great, good evening. Number one, I'd just like to bring up, thank you for the work that y'all do for the city. I think it would be great in the spirit of transparency and over-communication to have city council meetings put on the LED display on Floyd Road at the amphitheater. Once a month, just have it on the rotation for the screen. I think that would be a great just show of welcoming to the community. Not everyone checks the website. And I don't think we have a Twitter page at the moment, or X page at the moment. So that'd be a great way to get the word out and the community engaged. I did see someone wants to buy a Ford F-150 Lightning. Those are about $70,000. You can get a regular one for about $40,000. Just want to put that out there. More importantly, though, this is something that I'm formulating an actual presentation for the city council. There's an influx of rental takeovers in established neighborhoods. If you look on the GIS website for Cobb County, more and more established neighborhoods, single-family homes are being bought up by rental flippers that are from out of state and from out of the country. This is extremely bad for the city. This is bad for the consumer, and it destroys our community from the inside out. It's essentially a cancer. It's different to have like, hey, I've got my property, I'm gonna rent it out, I'm a guy, I've got an extra piece of property. There's one company I saw that's actually based out of Brazil. It's operating a shell corporation in Marietta, bought 4 houses in my neighborhood. The rents are gonna be expensive. The landlords are not gonna be very present if they're even doing proper background checks at all. I wanna have my kids raised in a neighborhood where everyone's growing up with everybody, and it's not a transient type of system, type of community, because that really is no community at all. When your community is just a revolving door and no one puts down roots, when stuff hits the fan and we have to come together as a community, if there are no roots, then the soil slides off. So there are things that a community can do to de-incentivize the oversaturation of rentals in single-family homes, especially because I know that there are very many families, young families, that need those starter homes. They need to be able to buy them to establish themselves.
Sir, the time is up.
Oh, that was my timer. Thank you. It's okay. You got the point.
Thank you, sir.
The next person is Ellie Riddle. And after Ellie is Denny Wilson.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for the opportunity. Ready? I'm here as a representative of the nonpartisan nonprofit organization Gays Against Groomers. We are dedicated to safeguarding children from indoctrination, sexualization, and medicalization, specifically in the realm of gender ideology and medical interventions. I'm here on March 12th, 2025, which has been deemed by the detransition community as Detrans Awareness Day. This day acknowledges the young people who have medically transitioned and now regret their decisions, facing long lists of complications. This includes puberty blockers, which many large profit-driven institutions falsely claim are reversible and cause no harm. Puberty blockers, surgeries, and cross-sex hormones can cause many issues, including but not limited to halting cognitive development, genital atrophy, castration, cardiovascular complications, diabetes, digestive issues, and joint pain, just to name a few. According to Oxford Academic, those who undergo transgender surgery are significantly higher at risk for depression, anxiety, suicidal ideation, and substance abuse compared to those who have not undergone surgeries. As one of the Southeast regional leaders for Gays Against Groomers, I'd like to highlight SB 140, which restricts medical transitions for minors. This law will undoubtedly help avoid misdiagnosis and prevent potential lifelong medical complications for minors in the state of Georgia. Unfortunately, when detransitioners who have experienced gender-affirming care as minors speak out, they are often ignored, defamed, or even gaslit and manipulated into silence. Censored media outlets will try to convince the public that the rate of detransition is minimal. But a recent study from statsforgender.org found that of 100 detransitioners, 76% did not even inform their doctors that they had detransitioned. This only proves that many young detransitioners are too afraid to discuss their experiences, and clinicians are using manipulated and inaccurate numbers to mislead young people and their parents into believing that the rate of detransition is lower than it actually is. It's important that detrans voices are heard and respected. Everyone must speak up for those who are too afraid of backlash to share their truth. So, to end, I will quote detransitioner Chloe Cole. Puberty is a rite of passage into adulthood, not a disease to be mitigated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Denny Wilson, and then Michael Murphy.
Good evening. Did you guys know that today was National Plant a Flower Day? And I've been planting flowers all day. So City Council, if you guys need a plant or a flower for your office, I got plenty in my yard. Most of them are native to Georgia. So I can fix you up a pretty arrangement for your office. But I want to piggyback on something the gentleman that was up here earlier said about the rental property, because there are several houses on my street that are owned by people who are in the Bahamas or in the DR. They don't live here in Georgia, but they bought the property and they're renting the properties out. I'm glad that, I'm just ecstatic that the city is taking over zoning. because I've come before you guys and I've begged and I've cried, I've kicked and I've screamed for you guys to take over zoning because the lay of our land has just been destroyed. I mean, we're surrounded by townhomes, we're surrounded by apartments, and I don't see any way that we get out of this. I just don't. I know you guys could not have taken it over any sooner. I'm not blaming you for it, but it's just as I ride around and I look and I see perfect land that would have been ideal for single-family homes, and it's been destroyed with a townhome on this corner, a townhome on that corner, a townhome on this corner, and you know, everywhere we look, that's just what we see. If you go over Floyd Road across from the Home Depot and look at those apartments over there, I mean, I hate to say it, but, you know, it just looks like a bunch of projects. I mean, everything is so close together. They're too close to the street. The setback they altered the lay of the land so that the developer could put more apartments on the property than what it was zoned for. And that's why it looks a mess. And on the other side where the old Burlington used to be, they took that property and they put apartments there too. So again, I don't know how we fix it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson.
And Michael Murphy.
Well, good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
I guess first of all, I want to start out by saying that I guess Monday is St. Patrick's Day, so I took the liberty to wear my green today, and I see Councilman Davis got the memo. So ladies and gentlemen, there is such a thing as Black Irish. I stand before you today to share my frustration. First of all, I appreciate the mayor in addressing the situation with our post office. I appreciate that, and hopefully that will, a change will come. But I stand before you today to bring your attention to the need of our South Cobb Regional Library. I served on the library board of trustees. I went before them to ask for an additional hour of service, but I also appeal to you to appeal to the county to upgrade the furniture at our library. It is, again, I've been a resident here long enough to remember where the library used to be on Mableton Parkway next to the fire station where the sheriff's office is now. It moved over on Clay Road. And if you go there now and just compare the furniture there to the furniture at Schweitzer or Gritters, it's just time to upgrade, and I would urge you to bring that to their attention. In terms of funding, I've presented to them the way they could address our libraries with naming rights. All sorts of revenue can come from that without taking away from the county's general fund. But I would urge you to do that. And the library is just so important, and I see the forlorn faces on our young people, particularly when they announce that it's time to close. So it's a fountain of knowledge, and it's a real asset to this city. And here again, hope you all will have a happy St. Patty's Day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
That's all the cards.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. So we'll end our public comment portion of this evening and move on to item 10, which is the consent agenda. The consent agenda, several items, I will list them as the approval of the February 10th, 2025 work session minutes, approval of the February 12th, 2025 regular meeting minutes, approval of the February 26th, 2025 regular meeting minutes. Items E is a consideration of approval of authorizing the city manager's office to execute and purchase one Ford F-150 Lightning truck for sanitation, waste, and beautification department from Wade Ford of Smyrna, Georgia. Item F is the consideration and resolution authorizing the city manager to execute approved expenditures within the adopted spending plan or budget that do not exceed $50,000. And the last item is item G, which is the approval of a planning commission meeting calendar. So at this point in time, council, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I second.
Thank you. Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Hearing no opposition, the ayes have it. Thank you, council. We do not have any unfinished business this evening, so we'll go straight to item 12, which is our new business. The first item is consideration and approval of a resolution authorizing the Mableton Development Authority to donate property to Cobb County for the creation of a Cobb Douglas Public Health Clinic on property located on Riverside Parkway. This was an item that I specifically did not have on the consent order, although I'm sure it does have, or I do think it will have unanimous approval from the council, specifically because I wanted to make sure that we had representatives here from both the Cobb Chamber and the Cobb Douglas Board of Health on Monday during the work session, but we do have members from the Mableton Development Authority here tonight, and I serve as a board member on the Cobb Douglas Board of Health, so as we do have both represented here tonight in some fashion. But I wanted to be clear about the fact that the Mableton Development Authority, who's had this land since the purchase of what was the Magnolia Crossing, many of y'all know it's been a lot of years since that time. The Mableton Development Authority has only been in existence since this past year with the renaming and reworking from what used to be the South Cobb Redevelopment Authority, who basically was able to purchase that land. We now have the wonderful, incredible opportunity to solve one of the key issues that exists in this part of our great city, and that is lack of access to health care. And many of us has talked about it for a long time, and I'm just excited and happy that we now get to actively work on that, and that property, which we've wanted for so long to amount to something that would be good for the community, is now not only going to be able to be served through our health community, but also is being donated. And so more funds will be available for the actual build out of the facility, making an even greater opportunity, I think, for the people that live and need health care in the city of Mableton. So with that said, I would like the opportunity to invite our Mableton Development Authority representatives that are here tonight, including our chairman, Mr. Gaines. So if you go ahead up to the podium, and while you're doing that, Mr. Manager, if you'd like to have something to say, please.
I apologize, Mayor, for the echo. Repeat what I'm commenting on again.
So if you had anything to add before Mr. Gaines took the floor.
Oh, no, sir. I think you explained it well, and we're glad with this relationship. Obviously, Stephanie Cox here and the chairman's here, and it is just something to be proud of to finally see movement in that area. Nothing further to add.
Thank you, Chairman Gaines. The floor is yours.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor, and good evening to you, and good evening, council. Good evening, those in attendance here tonight. Jason Gaines, Mableton Development Authority. We're excited for this opportunity to partner with the city and Cobb Douglas Public Health to bring much needed access to health care to the community and surrounding areas. This is a prime example of the partnership that we envisioned as a board when we entered into the intergovernmental agreement that we have with the city late last year, earlier this year, in which property dispositions involving property that's held by the Development Authority require both approval from the city as well as approval from the Development Authority Board. So working in that spirit of cooperation, I think this is a prime example of the direction that we want to see things move in terms of helping to build up the community. Again, thank you for the opportunity, and carry on.
Thank you, Chairman Gaines. I do appreciate that. And I do think it's a fantastic opportunity to see the true partnership between the Mableton Development Authority, the City of Mableton, and Cobb Chamber. And yes, indeed. So at this point in time, Council, I'd like to go ahead and entertain a motion for consideration and approval of this resolution authorizing the Mableton Development Authority to donate the property to Cobb County for the creation of a Cobb Douglas Public Health Clinic on the property located on Riverside Parkway.
I motion for.
I'd like to make a motion.
Resolution authorizing the Mableton Development Authority to donate property to Cobb County for the creation of a Doug and Cobb Public Health Clinic on property located on Riverside Parkway. I'm sorry, we're too excited. It's in my district.
Yes, I second.
I cannot hold my excitement.
Thank you. The motion's been made and seconded. Is there any other discussion on this matter?
Yes, Mayor. Can we defer this vote to maybe after this item? Give me 1 second to talk to Mr. Gaines about an option.
Sure. So the motion has been made and seconded, and this item is now in for discussion. It's been asked by our city attorney that we hold off on this vote until further discussion we had. For clarification on this, do we need to recess? Did he say
Like
that?
a 5-minute recess?
Yes.
Yeah, actually, because I think the next 3 items I'm giving information on.
Okay. All right. At this point in time, Council, I'd like to entertain a motion for a 5-minute recess.
A second.
Thank you. Motion been made and seconded. All in favor of a 5-minute recess, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. We will stand in recess until 7:12. Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for waiting with us while we went into that brief time of recess. We would like to go ahead and resume now. Councilwoman Oladapo, the floor is yours.
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to make an amendment to my motion, please.
Thank you. Please proceed.
I move that we approve Resolution 12A with exception that we allow the city attorney to add language asking Cobb County and Cobb Douglas Public Health to name the facility the Mableton Public Health Center on behalf of Mableton residents and for consistency with similarly named facilities.
I second.
Thank you. The motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion on this item? For those of you that were here Monday during the work session, it's something that I brought up while they were here talking about this measure, that this facility be named in alignment with other cities that across Cobb County that have public health centers, that it's be named after the actual city in which it resides. So the motion that's before us right now is to, while we cannot demand it be called the Mableton Public Health Center, we will strongly advise and continue to ask that it is named in Mableton to ensure that the citizens are represented with this new facility. So with that being said, I'll call the question. All those in favor of approving the resolution all those in favor of approving the resolution as given by Councilwoman Oladapo, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Thank you. All right, we're going to move now to item 12B, which is a second read of an ordinance. It's an ordinance creating Chapter 9, the Fire Protection and Prevention of the City of Mableton Code of Ordinances and for other lawful purposes. This is the second read of this. Madam Attorney, I do not believe that there's been any changes since the previous read.
No, Mayor, there have been no changes.
And no changes since our Monday work session?
That's correct, Mayor.
With that being said, Council, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve this second read of the ordinance creating Chapter 9.
I'll make
Councilwoman Ogg.
Sure. I'll make a motion to approve the ordinance creating Chapter 9 Fire Protection and Prevention of the City of Mableton Code of Ordinances and for other lawful purposes.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor of approving the ordinance creating Chapter 9 Fire Protection and Prevention of the City of Mableton Code of Ordinances and for other lawful purposes, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. There's no opposition to this. The ayes have it. We'll now move to item 12C. 12C is the second read of an ordinance creating Chapter 11, which is the Environmental and Natural Resources, Article 1, which deals with soil erosion, sediment, and pollution control. Again, this is a second read, and I will ask again, Madam Attorney, has there been any changes to this since the first read and or since the work session on Monday?
Mayor, there have been no changes to this ordinance, and fortunately with this ordinance, following adoption, this will then enable us to pursue an MOA with the Cobb Water Conservation District, which will be the next step coming to you.
Thank you for that.
And that will allow us, of course, to be a local issuing authority.
And this was brought up Monday. What's the timeline on that? Do we have a timeline for that yet?
We don't have a timeline, which we're just going to move expeditiously, but at least you have the tools in place to implement.
Great, thank you. At this point in time, Council, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the ordinance creating Chapter 11 for the Environment and Natural Resources, Article 1, Soil Erosion, Sediment, and Pollution Control.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the ordinance creating Chapter 11, Environment and Natural Resources, Article 1, Soil Erosion, Sedimentation, and Pollution Control.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. The motion's been made and duly seconded. All those in favor of approving the second read of this ordinance that was read by Councilwoman Herndon, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. No opposition to this. Thank you, Council. We shall move on now to item 11D. Item 11D is consideration and approval of the resolution updating the zoning and permitting fee schedule and for other lawful purposes. Again, sounding like a broken record, but Madam Attorney, any changes with this since we had this come up on our work session on Monday?
Yes, Mayor, there have been changes with this one.
Thank you.
Let's see. It's the second page. And then Councilwoman Ock just asked us to confirm that the amount was consistent with what the county charged for the structure relocation permit. And Christopher Wheeler was able to confirm that it is $100. And then there was 2 open space community overlay district fees, rezoning fees, and sign fees on here. And we have removed one. One was $500 and the other was $100.15 per sign. And Christopher was able to confirm that those were duplicates as well. So we have modified that consistently. So the request now is to adopt this. You've put a moratorium in place. So currently your staff cannot accept zoning applications, but they will be able to accept those applications tomorrow. So the request is to adopt this so that they will be able to assess fees that are associated with your zoning activities.
Thank you, Madam Attorney. At this point in time, I'd like to entertain a motion to consider an approval of this resolution.
I make a motion that for the consideration and approval of a resolution updating the zoning and permitting fee schedule and for other lawful purposes.
I second.
Thank you. The motion has been made and seconded. Council, any discussion on this matter? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor of the approval of a resolution updating the zoning and permitting fee schedules and for other lawful purposes, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. No opposition to this. The ayes have it. Thank you. With that being said, there's no other business, so therefore, Council, there's no other business in front of us this evening. With that being said, Mr. Manager, do you have any comments?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I do have some comments. I want to let the council and our citizens know that March 7th was Employee Appreciation Day. Our HR department took the initiative to organize an event at one of our break room areas, 6116. Of course, Mayor, he showed up, Ms. Jeff Coat and a few others showed up to show those employees appreciate it. We recognize Ms. Susan Hyatt, Nyree Simpson, and Ms. Lily Smith for their anniversaries, having more than 1 year on with the city of Mableton. That's something pretty significant for a 2-year-old, or less than 2-year-old city. And Ms. Nicole Sewell was voted on by her peers as the employee of the month. She's always smiling, bringing food, causing people to gain weight. When we open that permit office, when she has people, the first person that had a permit issued at the city, she took a picture with them and made them famous. And then someone else came and said, I want a picture, and she had folks dancing. So she's been very, very helpful in many ways, great attitude, customer service, and folks are just happy to come in and work with the city of Mableton. So I wanted to make sure I recognize the hard work that our employees are doing for our city. I also wanted to recognize Miss Emily Groth, our Sustainability, Waste, and Beautification Director. She has been accepted on a board position with the Georgia Recycling Coalition. So now Mableton has a representative that's statewide on the board of directors for the Georgia Recycling Coalition. So Emily is not here. She asked Mr. Alejandro, her colleague, the other director, they rotate on attending, but she's definitely worth noting. And then wanted to actually thank, I'm hesitant to do this, but I'm going to do it. Thank Mr. Ferguson and Mr. Mayor Michael Owens for helping us out with certain things in our IT shortage. And sometimes I do fuss about it. I want y'all to govern, not manage, and kind of get out my way. But but I really have to say I appreciate that we have a council that's willing to pull their sleeves up and help Ms. Ox on a committee with us. There's not one member on this council that doesn't mind pretending to be an employee. I just can't fire any of y'all. That's the only problem. But I do want to say thank you publicly, Mayor and Mr. Ferguson, for the things that y'all done to help fill gaps that we have. And then last but not least, Mr. Xavier Ross. We don't have an IT tech now. I don't think he has taken a day off in the last month. He has worked Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and he worked on President's Day, and he has worked every day to kind of fill that gap to make sure our new employees were set up to have their laptops and stuff established. So I'm just very proud of the people that work here in Mableton to help us get to where we are, and I would fail for not recognizing them. Xavier's also currently right now representing us from a budget equity convention with a bunch of high rollers in the nation. And he's representing Mableton is there. I don't know if there's many people from Georgia, but we have a representative there for budget equity. He's currently in Phoenix representing our city too. So just very proud of employees. And then also, Mayor, I would ask that we do go in executive session for the purpose of real estate.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Madam Attorney, do you have any comments this evening?
No comments, Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
No comments.
Thank you, Councilman Davis.
Yes, briefly, first, again, want to apologize for being a bit late today. It's funny you come home and you're putting out fires as soon as you come home, but that's okay. Two things. Well, first thing is that I want to actually congratulate our mayor for being a TV celebrity, CNN. Represents our city very well.
Thank you.
And I also want to just say how much and how lucky, how fortunate I feel to have been able to go attend the National League of Cities Conference with our Mayor Pro Tem in Washington, D.C. for the past few days. And I have to say this, every time we were afforded that opportunity, I learned some incredible things about running a city, making a city work. There's a line on a movie I can't think of right now where one of the main characters says, you know, the only way to get to the future is us getting there together. And that is something that's stuck with me. We met some incredible people from all over the country. And you show the little badge saying you're from Mableton, and they know us.
That's right, they do. Oh, sorry.
They know us for what we're doing, the challenges that we've faced, and how we've handled them. I guess they're looking at the city council meetings too and saying, okay, you guys have it going on. So, not to sound like I'm on a soapbox or anything, but again, I'm always humbled by being a part of this city, sitting here in this seat. I don't take it for granted. And I know we have one of the best, if not the best, mayors and councils in the country, and staff. And I'm not a betting man, but if I had to bet, I would. And I say that in all humility and in all sincerity. And I'll just close with this. Again, in my view, there are only two types of what we're going to call politicians in the world. There are those who want to make a name, and then there are those who want to make a difference. And I serve with a mayor, council, and staff that wants to make a difference. And for that, I am extremely proud. And good night.
Thank you, Councilman Davis. Councilwoman Oladapo.
That's incredible. Thank you, Councilman Davis. Good evening, everyone. I am just so happy to see you all tonight, and I'm incredibly proud of the motion that we passed tonight to donate a portion of the Magnolia Crossing land to Cobb County. If you live in District 2 or District 1, you would know for sure that we have a bank desert we have a healthcare facility desert, and we have a grocery store desert. I have to drive all the way past Memorial Highway, Veterans Memorial Highway, to find a grocery store. And after that, you see about 6 grocery stores within a mile. So I feel like this, you get Patty's district, right? I feel like this is us moving in the right direction and filling in the gaps that we need to fill in District 2 and District 1. And hopefully, God willing, we'll be able to bring in a bank, we'll be able to bring in not one, but multiple grocery stores in the nearest future. And for the rest of the land, myself and the mayor, we've been in multiple meetings with COP Chambers and with the Mableton Development Authority, just trying to figure out various housing opportunity options that we can bring into the community. So I'm really excited about all the work that we're doing. It's not going to happen in a day, it's not going to happen overnight, but eventually we'll get there. And I just want all of you to know that we have your best interest at heart. I share the same sentiment with Councilman Davis. We are here to make a difference, and we hope that, you know, the work that we're doing will continue to improve the quality of life of our residents. So thank you all so much again for your dedication, for coming here tonight to spend time with us, and I do hope you have a wonderful evening. And I'm glad we're able to get out of here at a godly hour, so that's also good. Yeah.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilwoman Jeffcoat.
Good evening, everyone. It's always a pleasure to see you all here, and thank you all for taking time out of your evening to come to hear us and to be with us. Last week, I had the opportunity to stop by our operations office as well as our, just the operations office. We have a growing staff, and I stopped by there for Employee Appreciation Day just to let them know just how much I appreciate the hard work that they do day in and day out. And Mr. Tanks was very excited to show me around, and I was happy to see the results of what we've been able to do in actually both of the locations that we've had, just how well they've been able to renovate and how it was configured. Everyone seemed happy, and just how much we've grown as a city. So I'm immensely grateful and appreciative, again, of the hard work that the staff puts in to make everything happen and to push our city forward. I hope they enjoyed the cake. Thanks, Mom. I also want to make a point of privilege to recognize Women's History Month and International Women's Day, which was on Saturday. We celebrated that on March 8th. It's always an honor to recognize the incredible contributions of women, not just throughout history, but also in our community. And it helps us to reaffirm our commitment to gender equity in our society. It's very important. Women, we are leaders, we are change agents, we are resilient and trailblazers. And this theme for this year was moving forward together, women educating and inspiring generations. And it's gonna require action from all of us to make sure we're uplifting one another, not just each other, but also girls, and letting them know that they have the opportunity to thrive and do some great things. And so as a councilwoman, I'm on this council with some strong women, Councilwoman Oladapo, Councilwoman Alk, and Councilwoman Herndon. And I always say it's gonna take courageous leadership, not just from women, but from everyone. We really need courageous, bold leadership. That's very important. And so let's not just honor women in the month of March, but every day. Councilman Davis and I had a chance to go, as he mentioned, to the National League of Cities. Actually, we just got off the plane, so we're a little tired. But it was such an amazing conference. This is, I believe, the second time that I've had an opportunity to go, and we had over 5,000 elected officials to show up to this conference across the nation. And over 1,000 actually attended Hill Day today, which we didn't get a chance to go because of this meeting. We're committed. But hopefully next year we'll get a chance to go to Hill Day, and that's an opportunity for us to meet with our delegation, to go to the White House, to the Capitol, and talk about policy and ways in which we can amplify our voices to advocate for the things that we need here in the city of Mableton. It is very, very important. Nationwide, we have an issue with housing. And we've had several conversations about inclusionary zoning, making sure developers take a certain number of units and make them affordable to constituents in our communities. That's very important. And so the National League of Cities has so many different programs. They have an accelerator program. They have a housing master plan that we can utilize. They have complementary services that they're there to help us at the federal level. And we really need to take advantage of that. I'm involved in a lot of the constituency groups there. I'm a part of the National Black Caucus and legislative elected officials, which is called NBC Leo, as well as with Councilman Davis, the Race, Equity, and Leadership Council. I'm also a part of the Women in Municipality Government, as well as the military constituency. But there's so many different categories that we need assistance with. So it's going to take a collective effort. Everyone needs to get involved so that we can be a part of these constituency groups. We had a general session where elected officials from the White House came to speak with us, Vice President J.D. Vance, and we could tell the energy in the room. It was polarizing, right? Because there's so many different perspectives. And it's important that we do this work together. It's going to be a heavy lift, but we have to make sure, again, that our voices are heard and that our voices are amplified. And so I brought a whole bunch of stuff back. I'll share with the council, and we'll get a chance to talk more in depth. I'll send out a few emails about it. And lastly, I do want to congratulate the mayor. When we were at the NLC, we had Bill from Georgia Municipal Association say that the city of Mableton was his favorite startup city. And he was so proud of it. And it's actually because our mayor, he's well connected. He really is. And if you go on his Instagram page, you're going to see all the work that he's been doing. And, we have great leadership between the mayor and our city manager and all of our staff, actually. And so it's important that we are seen not just locally, but nationally and internationally. And we have great leaders to help us do that. And then lastly, I do want to say that, save the date, I have a town hall meeting on March 31st. It's going to be at the Cobb Works Center from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. If you're in District 3, I hope to see you there. If you're not in District 3, I hope to see you there. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. Councilwoman Alt.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here tonight. Have a couple of things. First, District 4 residents. I am on the market for looking for an appointee for the Board of Zoning Appeals. We're about to start zoning, and we're going to need to fill that board. The goal of the Board of Zoning Appeals is to oversee zoning and planning appeals, and it's a quasi-judicial entity and has the authority to hear and decide appeals concerning errors, alleged administrative decisions related to zoning ordinance, and the board can grant variances in specific cases. So if you are interested, please send me an email at patricia.auk@mableton.gov, or if you're here tonight, pull me aside and let me know you're interested. Save the date for April. So Councilwoman Herndon and I are going to host a joint town hall. It's going to have to go in April. We wanted to hold it off until we could do it as like an open house for one of our new administrative buildings, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen, so it may be somewhere else. But stay tuned. We are going to have a town hall for District 4 and 6 residents. And then, so April, also a bunch of Earth Day and Arbor Day kind of things happening. There's a lot of cleanups, and particularly in my district. So this weekend, there is a Adopt a Mile cleanup for Hicks Road Community Pride. It will be at 5 Star Beauty Supply on Hicks Road is where we'll meet at 9 o'clock. There's going to be 2 different cleanups the following week on the 22nd for Buckner Road, which is also in District 4. And then there's another cleanup. It's not quite in Mableton, it's Sweep the Hooch, but it's a big group. So if you're tired of picking up roadside litter, you can pick up stream litter. So that's an option. And then the big one is Commissioner Sheffield's has her District 4 annual cleanup on the 29th, and that will be at 10 a.m., meeting at the Mableton Walmart. Some of you know as the Allstate Walmart on Floyd Road. And that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilwoman Herndon.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for everyone coming out. I only had one small comment. I get a lot of calls throughout the week of people asking, how can I get involved with Mableton? How can I help? And so I encourage everyone to visit our website at mableton.gov and go to the link that says Get Involved. And there's a lot of information there where you can get involved with our commission, board, and authorities, and other ways to volunteer your time and help for the city of Mableton, because we need you. We're growing and we're growing fast, and we're really getting a lot accomplished, but we can't do it all without help from our citizens. So I invite you to check out that link and sign up for things that you're interested in, and feel free to reach out to your individual council members if there are various CAPs that you are interested in being involved in. And thanks for coming out, and everyone, please drive safely on your way home.
Thank you, Councilwoman. I think when the first thing I want to talk about was the employment appreciation event from this past week. That was a heartfelt event that was put on internally. It was for the staff, and I want to thank our staff and whoever came with all those ideas and all those things. It was fantastic. Mr. Manager, thank you for allowing our staff to feel like they can express themselves and they can have a little fun. They work hard, work hard, play hard, but that was a fantastic event to see. I think they were all excited to be in a new space. They were excited about taking over services that through this transition period. This is a really exciting time in this city, and it's been a year and a half or so, and we all know we've been working towards the time of being able to take over or transfer services from the county to the city, and that moment is now upon us. We started by taking over the business license process last year and went through all of 2024, getting that down and kind of ensuring that set the groundwork for us and engaging our businesses, and also provided substantial revenue for the city. But now we're firmly going into that second phase, right? We're going into that next year where now all you've heard, we've added more staff, and through the work that we did collectively as a board in passing these ordinances from sanitation to fire and on over to code enforcement, it's now enabled these departments to take hold. So I'm really excited about this opportunity. Now is when our residents are going to start to see what all this work is kind of culminating up to begin with. Now, I will say, these are the brand new services with brand new team members and brand new systems. I've spent my almost entire adult life working in IT and cybersecurity, and I know the hiccups that happen. So I'll just say that there may be some hiccups, but I am proud already of the work they've done. This staff they're excited, right? They're excited to serve the citizens of the city, so I, as mayor, am excited to see that. Speaking of employees, I do always try to make a habit of new employees we have, and I do think TJ Copeland actually is my new chief of staff, so I wanted to give him a quick shout out. Thank you, sir. Happy to have you on board here. Raise your hand, folks. So happy to have him on board as we look to move forward and do fantastic things in the city. I do have to address the comment made by Councilman Davis. I am not a TV celebrity by any means, but I do appear on TV from time to time. And this past weekend, I had the pleasure to be interviewed on CNN. It was a live interview downtown, and it was about SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Access Program. And I won't get into the details of it. I encourage you all to take a look at it if you haven't seen it. But the point is that I joined an organization called the Mayor's Alliance to End Childhood Hunger. And it's a very simple premise. And that premise is no child should go hungry under any circumstances, in any place. And that holds true to Mableton as well. I'm on the firm belief that whatever the systems are dealing with food insecurities and childhood hunger, it should not find its way to where we have children in the city who do not have food to put in their mouths. So that led to some advocacy and ultimately to this interview on CNN to talk about, the 1.4 million people in the state of Georgia alone that are currently receiving it. So I'll leave it there, but anytime I get the opportunity to talk about challenges and really talk about good things in the city of Mableton, I'm going to use every outlet and platform that I can. And if CNN is gracious enough to have me on, I'll take them up on that opportunity. There's a couple more things I wanted to talk about. One was the Cobb Community Foundation. I'm lucky enough to serve on that board as well. And this past week, they had a tour, a nonprofit tour through the city of Mableton. Again, the idea is getting people from across the county to put some focus on the city and look at some of the nonprofits, look at some of the good things we have going on. And I'll make no bones about it, that tour was very specific about getting people that have discretionary funds, philanthropic entities, as well as other agencies, to see what we're doing in this city and hopefully entice them and bring more funds into the city. So I took part in that tour. There was 2 locations that was visited, the SAE school on Mableton Parkway and the Special Needs Cobb. And I want to give a thanks to Mooyah Burgers, who actually served lunch for that board. But again, it was from the Cobb Community Foundation, who does fantastic work. But more importantly, if we could bring people into this community to show them the great things that's going on, it's only going to benefit us with philanthropic dollars that will come into the city. On February 24th, myself, along with Chief of Staff and a couple of others, were able to partner with 2 of our high schools, South Cobb High and Pebblebrook High, and we took 20 students down to the state capitol. There were 10 students. All the students were in the Student Government Association, 10 from Pebblebrook and 10 from South Cobb High, and gave them an experience they would not have received if it wasn't for the work that we did. And to see the smiles on their faces, to be engaged with teenagers for about 4 or 5 hours and not see a single phone come out and take a look once, I think was a sign that they were engaged. But they had the opportunity to see how a bill was created, to see a bill debated in the committee. We actually had time to go to the Education Committee and see them and able to see a bill being debated, and then be able to go into the gallery and see bills actually being voted on the floor was truly a unique experience. And again, they were beaming. But the reality is what we were really trying to do is ensure that students in Mableton get an opportunity to see things that they normally wouldn't see and give them an opportunity for exposure and experience like none other. They had an opportunity to meet state representatives, state senators. I was even able to pull someone out of the governor's office that I knew to come and speak to them directly and talk to them about what was going on and make them feel special. They actually got shouts out from our Cobb delegation on the floor. Thank you to State Representative Terry Cummings for that. But they also went into the Education Committee, and Chairman Burns that was in there called them out specifically, had them stand up and get acknowledged. And so this was truly an opportunity, and I know how impactful it was for the kids, because I've heard from no less than 5 different parents who've reached out to me saying how their kids came home talking about the experience and everything they've done. So we are making strides in the city, and I'm happy that I'm able to spearhead any of those efforts that I can, whether through the mayor's office or through partnering with the Mayor's Educational Impact Fund. We will continue to make a difference in the lives of our students and our youth throughout the city. Speaking of education, tomorrow there is a South Cobb Educational Town Hall that is happening at 6 o'clock at the South Cobb Community Center. I will be on the panel there, as well as our school board member Trey Hutchins, Mayor Pro Tem of Powder Springs Henry Lust, and the Mayor of Austell, Mayor Ali Clemens, along with several other people that's going to be on there as well. So I hope if you get an opportunity to come out and hear about what's going on more in our schools and some of the challenges, but more importantly, the opportunities we have in this city and what we're going to do. No, none of the cities are over the schools. We're not taking over the schools. Our goal is to figure out innovative things that we can do outside of the schools, or in conjunction with the schools, or in partnership with the schools, to improve both the educational outputs, but also the experiences that our students get to have. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, our council and our staff continues to work incredibly hard to make the city one of the best places in the state to work, live, play, and worship. And I hope you guys continue to appreciate it and continue to move us forward every single day. With that being said, I will entertain a motion to go into executive session for real estate personnel and litigation.
I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session for real estate, litigation, and personnel.
Thank you. Thank you. Motion been made and seconded. All those in favor of going into executive session for real estate, litigation, and personnel, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. No opposition, the ayes have it. Thank you. We will go into executive session. Ladies and gentlemen that's joined us tonight, thank you. If you will not be staying, please have a safe trip home, and we hope to see you at our next city council meeting and other events that was discussed tonight. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for waiting while we are ready now to continue the business of the city. At this point in time, I'd like to entertain a motion to exit executive session.
I'll make a motion to exit executive session.
I second.
Thank you. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor of coming out of executive session, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it. All right. Council, do we have any additional business that's still yet in front of us? Thank you. Floor is yours, ma'am.
I move that we authorize the mayor to execute in substantial form the separation agreement between the city and Juliana Umjoku.
Thank you. The motion's been made on the floor. Do we have a second?
I second.
Thank you. The motion's been made and duly seconded. All those in favor of accepting the separation agreement for Juliana and Njoku, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Thank you. Madam Clerk, the motion passed unanimously. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, members of the council, I do not think there's any other business in front of us this evening. Therefore, I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'd like
To adjourn.
Thank you.
second.
Motion has been made and duly seconded. All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing no opposition, this meeting stands adjourned.